adventure. Okay. So I really want to share some stories. I'm a storytelling guy. I think that I think our lives are stories, and then when it's all said and done, that's what we have is stories of what happened. And in telling the stories, we create meaning. And so I want to share some stories with you. Okay. And but more than that, what I'm really hoping to do is share some stories initially, kind of set up a foundation. And then I really want to have just an authentic conversation with you. Find out where you are in your business endeavors, in your marketing endeavors, in your hopes for your career. Find out how I can, if I can be of assistance. Any stories, anything that I have to share is only valuable if it's relevant to you and to where you are. And so I want to build a foundation here for maybe 15 minutes, and then I really just want to open it up to questions and find out where you are, and I'll insert stories and experiences where I can, where it may be helpful. Okay? Does that sound good? Okay, and just make it a real valuable. What do we have? We have 8 hours. Is that right today? So we have to be done by 9 or 8. By 8. So I promise we'll be done by 8. Everybody's in there going, wait a minute. I thought this was like an hour. It is, right? Yeah. We'll be done in an hour. So, okay. I just want to start with a quick story about my book. I have my book. Okay, I finished a book, and it's called Fill a Need: 13 Critical Tips for Success in Business and Life. Okay, now, when I started in business, I had no intention of ever writing a book. I really wrote this when I retired. I retired several years ago, and I wrote this book thinking, I've learned some lessons along the way that may be helpful. That others may, a lot of these are very costly lessons, okay, that I've learned. And so I've shared those lessons, and really originally it was for my children. I was thinking, if they ever go into business, I want them to know what I've learned. And so there's no magic number to 13. It just kind of, as I thought about, this is the most important lesson, this is the second most important lesson, this is the third most important lesson, it just kind of added up to 13, and it seemed to be a natural spot to stop. And that's why there's 13 critical tips, is what the book is about. So, so that's kind of what I want to talk about, is some of the stories and stuff in there. But I wanted to... I don't have a blackboard, do I? Okay, no, that's not. Or blackboard is old school. It's called a whiteboard now. Whiteboard. No, well, whiteboards are right on. Okay, that's okay. I think we'll be okay. I should have thought about that before we started. Okay, I want to tell you a story real quick that happened 3 or 4 years ago. And I was asked to speak at an entrepreneur conference that was occurring at the Miller Entrepreneur Center. You know where that is in Sandy? It's right off the freeway there. Okay, and they asked me to come and speak as a local entrepreneur. And I was asked to speak second this particular day. Okay, and so I get there, and they introduced me to the keynote speaker, the gentleman that was speaking first. And he was, and maybe you've seen individuals like this, he was in a $2,000 suit. I mean, he just looked like $1 million. Like, I thought I was successful, and oh my gosh, nothing. I was nothing. I never owned any clothes like this individual owned, right? You just see the money just dripping off, and I thought, wow, this guy's successful. I don't even know. I didn't know him, but I was interested in what he was going to say. And so I sat down, and he started talking, and he opened up by saying, "Today, I'm going to share with you what I consider to be the most important element of business success." Now, he had my attention, and he had all of our attention. Okay? And we just sat there, and I sat there, and I was waiting, and he paused for a dramatic effect, and we all just sat there. And then he said it. He said the key for business success. And you've heard the statement before me. He says, dress for success. And that's not what I anticipated. And as I sat there and listened to him talk for an hour, okay, and he went through every bit of his clothes and said, what does this tie mean? This is a, and he talked and told us how expensive the tie was. He bought it in Italy, and he went through his shoes, and he went through his suit, and he really, went through the whole outfit and said, success depends on how you dress. Now, I don't know what you think about that when you hear that. But I don't know if that was the most helpful advice I've ever been given as a business owner. And I sat there and I was a little concerned actually about it. I was thinking, because how I'm dressed now, this is as good as it gets, okay? A collared shirt, usually I'm a Levi guy, okay? But, you know, today I dressed up a little bit. Okay? This is it. And I kind of went into business, and I know a lot of my entrepreneur friends that went into business because we really kind of liked the opportunity to dress as we wanted to take control of our destinies, and to not listen to some, you know, corporate rules on how we should dress. And so it really concerned me a little bit. But more important, and really I thought, how are they going to look at me when I stand up now? Because this is it, you know, and it's not a lot, and darn, you know, I was really concerned, but I was more concerned about, I don't think that's the most helpful advice. And so when I stood up second, I simply said, you know what's great about an atmosphere like this? Is that all of the speakers and all of the students, all of us in this room, we can share what we think is the most important elements of success. And I said, and I'd like to share with you what I think mine is. Now, I had altered my remarks. This isn't where I was going to go. But because of what this gentleman spoke before me, I really felt like I needed to go into this direction. Okay? And so I drew, and that's why I wanted a whiteboard, is I drew a hangman game. 4 lines, space, 1 line, space, 4 lines. Okay? And I sat there until somebody shouted, "Give me an A!" Okay? And there's no A. Okay? "Give me an E!" And there was a bunch of E's. Okay? And so what I ended up writing on the board was what I think is the most critical element, the foundation upon which all successful businesses, relationships are built. And that is fill a need.